I'm here on the ground with you all. Man. Ooh, welcome to the rundown. It's Tameka and Brenda after a long night at the CCSD School Board Trustees meeting.
6 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah.
Damn. Man. Look, it's a lot to take in. Over 6 hours. It's a lot to take in, but I feel that that's why it's important for us to do this. Just what's the important stuff, right? You know, there's a lot of passionate people. It's a lot of public comment. It's a lot of decisions that need to be made. But what are the things that are truly, truly important? And just bring that to you.
Yeah. We're trying to kind of, because we care, right? We want to make sure everybody knows. But no one can sit there 6 hours or 45 minutes
6 hours
and listen to this. And that's that they cut agenda items.
Thank
cut
goodness.
6 of them. If not, we probably would have been there.
Thank goodness we would have
much
still
longer
been there, you know? And it's just one of those environments like, do you really want families to come?
Yeah. Do people feel safe? Because there was definitely that, right? That there was folks very emotional. I felt unsafe at a moment. I'm sure a lot of folks did.
Some folks were triggered, definitely triggered. It was one of those that it's like, damn, if our classrooms are like this, you know, I mean, to be honest, like, children are reflections of their families.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And children have learned behaviors that, you know, someone is modeling this behavior to a child, and maybe that's why they act that way. And so last night was one of those, like, really eye-opening, like, okay, if these adults are behaving this way, their children and offspring, some of them held spawn.
Yeah. We'll pick up on it, right? Yeah.
They pick up on it. They're modeling the behavior that they see in their everyday lives. And so if last night's meeting and being in that boardroom, if last night's meeting was a reflection of what is happening in our classrooms,
we all need to be concerned.
We need to be concerned, and if it continues, damn it, we in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, let's get right into it.
We're not on anybody.
No.
I don't want to get
And you too. You can step away too. I'm trying to have a word with her.
No, you're gonna have to take me out too.
Listen, please.
We're not trying to take anybody out.
All I'm asking is that you do not step over and address people like that. Okay?
So let me
because
ask
that
you.
provokes stuff.
Let me ask you a question. Okay.
We'll address the rest of it. Okay?
But have we?
wait.
No, but hang on. But really, have we?
Listen.
No, or have we let 3 white ladies?
This is kind of
hang
the
on.
problem.
Have we let 3 white women sit there and talk shit about everybody in the place out loud?
And when they do that, we'll address that. But
But
when you step
You
over to them, that causes a bigger issue for us. Okay?
So last night's board meeting was, you know, it was very heated. It was very passionate. There was a lot of passion in the room because there were many topics that were on the agenda. But there were groups of hecklers that were there, you know, saying mean and nasty things to people as they were making public comment. You know, I'm happy that we have public comment. We need it so the trustees can hear the voices from the communities and their concerns. But when you have people in the audience who are heckling, making fun of people for their size, their speech impediments,
their race, their
even
the way they agree with, the gender fluidity thing, like
for sure. Really,
anything.
our transgender students, it was it was unnecessary and uncalled for. And when one teacher, bucks up, like, it was happening all night. It was happening all night. And then the minute that she responds in the way that many would when you've been heckled all night, then the police remove her.
Yeah.
But you haven't said anything to the people that are in the audience. Causing this disruption is problematic. And so I'm just hopeful, like, these meetings need to be safe spaces for us to want to come to voice our opinions. But when we are being heckled and disrespected, definitely, take the right people out when it happens, and it'll dead all that.
Yeah. And I think that was the frustration, right? I think we were taking it all in and observing it all. And I personally just wanted to hold the trustees accountable in the way of, hey, if they speak up or if they interrupt someone doing public comment, escort them out of the room. And that didn't happen, right? So that also fired up the moment.
Right. It was like, can you hear this? Did you hear what they're saying?
Until she spoke up, then she was escorted out, and then everyone just kind of course, we're going to protect our own, right?
And it wasn't even about it's about protecting, but it was also like, what the hell? Like,
yeah.
Why this time? Why this time do you choose to, take action when you should have been doing it all night?
Because they wait for it to escalate, right? Which is, can you imagine what goes on in the schools?
Man, with those, some educators may not have that classroom management.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really think that there are rules and policies and procedures that are in place for board meetings, and they need to adhere to it when it comes to the public comment section. Like, just a minute 30, cut the mic.
Right.
Just cut
At
it.
that point, I'm like, yes, just cut it. It doesn't matter if they're for or against it.
It doesn't even matter. I think that if you have that consistency, then a lot of that can be,
avoided.
It can be avoided, for real.
Avoided. I definitely was upset. I did show you a tweet that I did last night. I had stepped out. So the police outside were making fun of basically the situation that happened an hour before, right? Where they escorted the person out. And I kind of felt some type of way. I was so mad because I'm like, they think this is funny. They think we're just, out here trying to be loud and do things for fun. But I'm like, because he said, actually just told the lady had asked for his badge number and his name. Of course, we're going to hold people accountable.
Right.
And he was like, actually just said I was a cop. That would really pissed her off. And how?
Like,
why?
Why
and you sit here
in
in our schools, you're the same folks who are sitting here protecting our kids. So it was very triggering.
It was
emotionally a lot, I think, too.
And then it just made me just want to, just wonder, had the person that got escorted out, would it have been that nice, had it been somebody that looked like us?
Yes. Because we should point that out, right?
Absolutely. And I thank her. I admire her passion and for standing up and sticking up for the issues that But it was like, had she looked like us, would it have been so peaceful?
Mm-hmm. It would have probably escalated more. And I mean, it was, if you were watching at home, it got cut off. The live stream got cut off and it was put on hold. The trustees were actually taken into the back room and everything was just put on pause.
Right, to secure the situation and make it safe for everybody. I still commend the officers for making sure that they control the situation, but had they taken action earlier in the meeting, it wouldn't have happened. I really stand by that. I feel that way.
Yeah.
So
the rundown. What did we talk about though?
Oh my goodness. So, so many things on the agenda. Some things that you will have to wait on until the July meeting because they were supposed to talk about the zone variance policy, but that was taken off agenda and that'll happen in July. But what did pass, the anti-racism policy, it already passed. Like, it's something that I still was like, why is this even on agenda, right?
Because people are confused.
Yes. They keep bringing CRT into this.
Which is critical race theory.
Critical race theory. No, it's fine. Critical race theory. That's why we here.
Yeah.
Now stop talking in acronyms. What is these ABCs you talking about? Critical race theory. And that's not what this agenda item was about. You know, it's about the creation of a task force. And they want community input, and they need more people to sign up for the task force. They did have interest, and people signed up for
about 200, I think, people signed up.
Right.
But of course, the Black and Brown community is not well represented so far from the applicants they received.
Well, the ask right now is for you to sign up to be on this task force, and
they extended it to today.
They extended it today. Like, sign up today. When you see the link, go ahead and click on it. Really short form. Sign up to be, and make sure that you lend your voice. Like, have the opportunity to lend your voice.
But we need more of our folks up there. And they did do it in Spanish because I think that was also a barrier, like a block that they had because it was only English. So that was one of the reasons why it was extended. So the opportunity has been extended. It's until today. So make sure that you sign up to be on that task force. And it's for community, for organizations, and individuals.
You do that.
You can do both, yes.
Another item, I know, right? So the gun resolution was passed.
Yes. Did we do the amendment for it? Of like passing and doing the education part of it?
I don't believe so.
I think we passed as is, right?
Yeah, it was passed
because there
as
was
is.
Conversation, which full transparency, I agreed with, of not just sending a flyer out, of securing your guns. I think if we're going to do that, we should definitely do some education too. It's like,
there should be some education, but I think where there was some confusion is the form does not ask if you have a gun in your home. The form is not invasive like that. Mm-hmm. The form is saying to secure your weapons. You know, secure your weapons so your children don't.
It's on here. Let me pull it up so I can show folks on the book.
Oh, sorry.
This is the agenda, y'all.
Oh gosh, I forgot. It felt like a weight on my leg. It was keeping me warm.
What's wrong?
It was keeping me warm. But yeah, it's one of those things that it's like, you know, it's just, it will be sent home with all the other paperwork that comes for your student during that first week of school. And you just have to sign, just notifying, sign that you received the information. And hopefully you read it, and it's all about keeping students safe.
I'm really happy with the amount of folks who showed up in support of this,
For sure.
Because I think we all recognize, I think it was a topic that both sides could agree on. There was just a few that were like, they don't need to know if I have a gun and what type of gun. Because they were talking about the types of guns.
AR-15, nobody's asking those questions. Nobody cares. But if you do have it, just please have it locked up and stored safely.
But definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you think about it? How do you feel about it? If you weren't at the school board meeting.
That's for sure. I know you're looking at that, and I know that there was a teacher, Ryan, that spoke, about a young man that lost his life at Canyon Springs, and just the trauma as an educator, having to bury a child, and even as a family, having to bury a child. And would it have saved his life? We don't know that, but I feel that it's important for the school district to do their part to make sure that parents have the information. Just an additional level of, can you please make sure that your gun is stored securely?
Yeah. Because the conversation was also about bringing up the mental health crisis in CCSD, right? With the pandemic and everything happened. So I'm really glad a lot of the public comment with teachers was that point of view. I'm a teacher, you know, suicide is a big topic.
Yes, our kids are hurting. Our kids are not well, and they recognize that, and they want to limit the access to handguns in their homes, or even if they visit a friend's home. Like,
yes, because that was a story, right? Where they, you know, someone made the comment of, it's just like asking, is your pool gated? Is your pool secured? It's also kind of asking the same question. Do you have guns in the home that are secured? It's probably very, you know, personal, but I mean, it's also a safety thing.
I don't even know if it asks that.
It doesn't, but that was a comment someone made. Right. One of the public comments mentioned that part, right?
No, you're okay. My bad. I don't even ask that. But yes, so.
And then they talked about the taco commercial, right? Where it's the little girl with, do we want a soft or hard shell? And the girl says, why not both, or something like that. We can certainly do both of making sure parents are aware of the guns are secure, and doing education. So hopefully we can kind of also not focus, but bring that up and keep reminding them that education is also important.
I think that that's an important point. Like, that education piece is important, and that's something as a gun owner you should have and be doing anyways if you're going to be a responsible gun owner. And so, I mean, this one,
and you can definitely show up and do public comment with non-agenda items, reminding the trustees that this is important.
That's it.
So
I think the one thing that, you know, on a personal note, I have a son who, you know, thank God he survived, but he was shot accidentally by a friend. It's just another level of awareness, you know, to a parent. And maybe, you know, because I know that some were saying, well, that may make a child want to search the home for guns. But maybe it'll make a parent want to search the home for guns.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
just keep them safe.
That's all we're asking, right?
That's it. We just want the kids to be safe, please and thank you. I don't know. To me, it just shouldn't be that hard. But
yes, we encourage everyone, show up, public comment on non-agenda item, to just mention the education part. Like, we don't have the agenda for next school board meeting yet, but
not yet.
Let's see if it's even on there, right? Like, you have all the power to make a comment and let them know what you think your child needs. So
for sure,
just want to remind. That's my little plug. That's my little reminder to show up to the meeting, or send an email or a phone call, because we hear voice calls all the time there.
Yes, you have multiple opportunities to provide public comment, so please do so on agenda and non-agenda items. Speaking of public comments, like, I was happy to see our elder Gene Collins there providing public comment in support of having an increase of African American principals, African American male principals, particularly at one school, West Prep Academy. Like, it was good. It was good to see him, but it was one thing that wasn't good was his T-shirt that he brought. Oh,
I brought this T-shirt for the board to look. Now, I want y'all to look at this T-shirt. This what was handed out.
Let me take a picture
at the school.
You know, with this T-shirt appeared to be racially insensitive. Like, it showed the evolution from, I was still just like, what? This doesn't even make sense. Evolution from an ape to a person lifting weights.
Yep, and it said West Prep CrossFit. That's what it said.
So I don't know if this shirt was, who it was designed by, who gave it out. Was it given out to students? We don't know. We don't know the context. So if you know the context, let us know.
If you got the shirt, let us know.
If you got the shirt, let us know. All right. But And if your child attends West Prep and got this shirt, like, what was your reaction? Like, I hadn't heard anything about it until this public comment.
Low key. They were probably like, "We made a mistake, sorry," and then parents were just like, "Oh, okay, possibly, right?" That's what I'm thinking, and kept it.
Probably so.
They were trying to problem solve there.
Again,
but
the
I was
public
shocked.
Comment. It was like,
where did this come from? Yeah, no, I think it hit everyone out of nowhere, right? We were not expecting that shirt to be specific.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Was it
NISI rep? NIAA rep.
Yeah.
No. And that's all you. I'm just here supporting you because I was in shock. I don't know. But we'll leave it for next time.
We'll run it down next time.
But because this also is an educational show, right? Not just the trustee meetings where we run down. I wanted to kind of bring up the getting a male African American principal at that school, right? So the SOT has a say in that, doesn't it? We're getting into SOT conversations. Sorry. I'm that SOT mom.
Yeah, please be that SOT mom. Do you know what SOT? Here you go with your
school. I know. School organizing team. It sounds very simple, I want to say. Like, it sounds like just a title, but they actually do a lot. Like, we go over budgeting, and in case there is a situation where we need to hire a principal, the SOT to collectively get to interview. So if you're part of the SOT as a parent, I have to say, who's the next principal. So that's very important, right?
Right.
So do you know what the process is? The SOT involved right now with this?
That I don't know. I haven't talked to any representatives from that school, but I will definitely, after seeing the public comment, reach out and make sure that they have representation.
Right.
It's summertime, and so a lot of families check out. But this is the time to stay engaged and stay in tune and make sure that you are representing the families at your schools. Like, you're that rep, and it really holds weight.
And it just sucks because I know that some of the schools only have one parent, and it's really not a time commitment thing. There is, right? It's once a month where you have to meet for an hour. If you kind of get through your agenda correctly, I think the most would probably be 2 hours. But it's once a month and you have a voice. And then you also bring that parent input, right? Because I imagine that, like, the trustees, they don't see it from different points of views. And you can be that parent to be that voice and bring that seat to the table for other families. So that's very important.
It is. It's also important to have the voices of educators and support staff, as well as the admins at those schools. Like, it's a collective effort. Give your input. Although that's something that I always push back against. Like, the principal still has the final say.
We'll get there.
We're gonna work on that when we talking about policies and stuff. Like,
Yes, but
it's nice to have that input, though. But if you do have one of those principals who really wants the input of everyone and will make an informed decision based on the input that they get from the rest of the team, then it works how it's supposed to.
Yeah. So talking about supporting schools, it's our first week that we have a school. Our Support a School program is a program that CCSD has. It's on their website. It's a lot of schools from elementary to high school who are just asking for community help. Some schools are really just asking for a box of crayons. There are other schools who are asking for a mural, right? Because it'll be beautiful. So there's so many ways. And because of our economic fairness campaign, we definitely want to make our schools better and support our school as much as we can. So we ask folks to help us out, right? This week we got.
This week we have Matt Kelly.
Yes.
Yes.
Their list is right here.
And make sure that whatever you can do, even the littlest thing, right? I looked through the list. There were some things like they wanted trinkets for the treasure box, just different things.
Little things.
And there were some schools who needed like website design. Like if that's your talent, if that's in your wheelhouse, share it with these schools.
Yes.
So.
They make the process so easy. They give you the contact person, and we hope that you directly go. We don't. That way you can also see, right? Because I'm always like, I want people to see where their help is going.
Yeah, where their contribution is going.
Yes, so
for sure.
Definitely contact the person. But yeah, I'm so excited to kick off the Support the School little segment that we got going.
Right. And if you have a school, if your school has needs that you have identified, drop it in the chat. Let us know. So maybe we'll highlight your school next.
Right.
And support your school. So please stay involved, stay engaged, stay empowered.
Mm-hmm. So what's next, Tameka?
Ben, look, I really like that ask again for you all. You have until, I believe, the end of the day to sign up for the Anti-Racism Task Force. The application is simple. I think it's like 4 questions. Like, go ahead, sign up for it, and at least have the opportunity to have your voice at the table when decisions are being made, for sure. So looking forward to talking to y'all in 2 weeks for the board meeting, but there's also a work session that's coming up.
Yes, we'll probably be doing little live snippets here and there during the work session. July 7th is the work session, and then that Friday is the next school board meeting. So stick with us, y'all. I'm gonna bring friends. If you want to join us, you have to be in the room.
Oh my God.
You have
Y'all gotta be in the room because, you could be at home. Like, it was cool. Like, I was watching school board meetings from home. Yeah, you had your comments in the chats. But what was y'all doing when the camera stopped?
Yes.
Y'all was wondering, like, what's happening? Like, what's going on?
It's a different vibe. It is very interesting. I think that's the best word I can say. It's very, very interesting. I do encourage bring snacks, a water, bring a hole,
bring a jacket sometimes. Because last time it was
cold.
It was hella cold last time. And
bring
then
some Tylenol, ibuprofen for the headaches. Just bring the tea.
Bring the tea.
All right, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
See you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Y'all take care. Listen, our brother Toby said, try Jesus. Don't try me because I fight and I throw hands.